If you want to remember who you are, you have to drop the story, even if it's for 1 minute. This is Sarah, and this is Before the Edit. Welcome home. There have been a couple of times in my life when I had what I'll call a magic moment. And my goodness, if we could create those, if we knew the recipe of how to create those, we could have them all the time. And there are a couple of things that stand out in my mind as just amazing, and if I could repeat them, believe me, I would. And so I was looking at what the common denominator was. How did these things show up? So the first situation, as crazy as this might sound, I was in a canoe and I just had this amazing session that kind of cleared space in my head. And I was asking, what else is possible? All day long. Over and over. And every time I would ask it, I would see something amazing. So in the canoe, I would see, ducks going with little ducklings. And then I would say, what else is possible? And then I would see diamonds dancing on the water, like the sun shining off the water, and actually seeing them in the beauty that they really are, like diamonds. I also saw a bear from the canoe over on the shore, and the trees were just looming over top of the water. And I remembered, I just kept asking, oh my goodness, okay, what else is possible? And I heard this hum, this frequency. It felt like a really low, soothing voice, but it wasn't a voice. And it went right into my bones. And I remember looking around, where's that coming from? Where is that coming from? And then I realized that it was the trees. I could hear the trees. And neither one of us spoke for about a whole minute. It might have been shorter, it might have been longer, but it felt like a minute, maybe 2 minutes. And I asked my husband, I said, did you hear that? And he didn't hear it the way I was hearing it, but it was more of a feeling. It was a feeling. And I said, I think I just heard the trees sing. Or I heard them speak. But I just remember how amazing that was. And another time when we reached Portugal, we were walking around and there was music playing. I think it was Ave Maria, actually. And we were walking through this beautiful city in Portugal called Viana do Castelo. And we turned a corner with this woman, and they were playing Ave Maria on the loudspeaker. So everyone that was in the city, in this area, could hear it. And I stopped right up. I got this feeling all over my body that just like I'm being held. It was the same thing with the trees. And everybody just kind of stopped, and they were waiting for me to finish having this moment, which was me just standing there and receiving, really. So yours might be different than this. I'm just giving you these as an example. But both times I felt like it was God or the universe or whatever you want to call it reminding me of who I am. And my friend and I were talking about this, and she asked me, what do you think that was? Or how do you think that that got created? And I just said, I think both times I really just dropped my story. I dropped my story and then I could perceive what was there for me. So, what if you knew that if you dropped your story, that you would actually remember the pieces of you that you think you lost, that you've been searching for all along? That if you dropped your story, you would actually give the universe an opportunity to hold you, to support you. And that if you dropped your story, you might actually be able to see what's right in front of you with a different lens. That you might actually see the things that are there already supporting you. And maybe even feel what it's like when you let your story off the hook and something else is there instead. If you've done a lot of the work, but you can't seem to drop that story, that's something we can look at together. You can find me at sarahsenergetics.com. This is Sarah. This is Before the Edit.